Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Newsgram. Are you ready for a good laugh? I know I am, but I do need to warn you that today's show is a little bit racy. Here's a sample.
A sex-hungry farm girl named Kay would take a new lover each day. When they said, "You're a sinner," she replied, "No, a winner. Every time I leap in the hay."
That's David Ellis reading a snippet of one of his new limericks called Sexy Shorts, one of the saucier segments of his new book.
First section, the longest, is on sex.
Can you tell this is going to be a spicy episode of Newsgram? Hold on, spicy isn't the best word to use. The best description for this episode is the title of David's book. It's called Naughty Nonsense, Lascivious Limericks, and much more.
There's alcohol, various vices, food, music, and other arts, sports, oddities, politics. So it covers quite a while.
Like many authors that found themselves isolated and shut in during the pandemic, David put his creative juices to work, writing and passing the time with an ear-to-ear grin at the crazy things going on in his mind. Hey, this is fun. You see how infectious it is to do a rhyme? I know that one wasn't all that great, but I'm not an author. David's book is one of those items that you'll probably want to keep away from the kids, at least the first section. Topics in the book range from light and frivolous ones to geography, politics, and some more serious topics. It's a highly enjoyable book for adults, loaded with lots of, well, naughty nonsense and lascivious lyrics. Here's one I think we can all relate to, because it combines the elements of libido with curiosity and the COVID-19 vaccine. It's called The Old Man and the Vaccine.
Our vaccines are successful, proclaims each COVID lab. So I go and see my doctor to ask about a jab. He seeks to reassure me and put me at my ease. He says he'll answer questions about this feared disease. The first question that I ask him, are there side effects that leave a patient suffering with severe defects? I'm glad you've asked that question and got it off your chest. You really have no worries. These vaccines are the best. Now, my wife is nearly 80 and I'm 83. There's a personal question concerning her and me. Now, I hope this second question will not you perplex. Once I've had the vaccine, can she and I have sex? No worries, says the doctor. I can put your mind at rest. Your sex life will be normal. Just put it to the test. So happy with this answer to my second question, I then roll up my sleeve with no more hesitation. The news is so exciting, it fills me with delight. I'll tell my anxious partner, and we'll enjoy tonight. Though it still is hard to credit, for, by my estimation, it's now been nearly 15 years since my last erection.
Yeah, it's not Viagra. His book has limericks about all kinds of different areas, like he said earlier, but since we're on the subject of passion, I'm going to take you back briefly to section 1 because you need to meet Desmond.
Young Desmond said, I must confess, I love to be seen in a dress, had panties and bra, and I think I'm a star. So please, can you call me Princess?
Because why not? Let's move on to the boozy section where you get to meet Jenny.
Okay, I'll go on. A social young lady named Jenny was forever spending a penny. The reason is clear. She loves to drink beer. And it's not just a few. No, it's many.
Jenny does like to imbibe, and she's just one of the many characters he's created. There is the forger, the glutton, the cheat, the drunkard, the proud, the greedy, the slothful, the unfaithful, the exhibitionist, the sex mad, the dominatrix, the cougar, the transsexual, the transvestite, the masochist, and many more. So if you're up for a bit of naughty fun, I think you'll enjoy the humor in this book. Now, some of it does get a bit local. David was born in the UK and then he moved to Australia, where he found inspiration to write this one.
This is On Hot Weekends. On hot weekends in this sun-kissed land, we flock in droves to our fine white sand, and it's into the water for a dip. But be careful you avoid the rip. And that's not all we have to fear. White pointers might be lurking near. The jellyfish and sandflies sting, and seagulls steal the food we bring. Now if you want to take a nap, don't forget the slip, slop, slap, or you'll be burnt from head to feet and feel exhausted from the heat. A cafe then, with ocean view. You'll wait for hours in the queue. And you'll so wish you had thought twice when you sit down and see the price. So when it's hot, I do not roam, but stay in air-conditioned room with beer and telly. That's the ticket. Watching the flannel fools play cricket.
A grumpy old man staying inside to avoid the sun's rays and the high restaurant prices. Sounds like something I would do. As you can see, they aren't all naughty and they aren't all limericks, but they will all make you smile. David writes essays and he writes some long-form verses, and those are mostly about chess. So here's a quick peek at the chapter called Chess and Other Sports. Said the lowly ranked player John Cook, "I'm particularly fond of the rook, but it's always the same. At the start of each game, I move them up and they quickly get took." Again, this is just like my game. David is now over 80 years old, and he is showing no signs of slowing down. You have to love his zest for life and his fun perspective. He's a former English teacher and a chess champion and a writer, but not an artist. The illustrations are particularly striking, and I just loved them. They are pencil drawings of a cartoon nature, and they'll definitely get you to smile, especially the ones in section 1. They were done by an American woman named Rosie DeWoo, based in Austin, Texas, and I put a link to a video that features many of them in the show's notes. So if you want to see some of the pictures, you can go take a look at the show's notes. But let me leave you with this one. It's a limerick that is not in his book, but I extracted it from the Talking Books interview with J.T. Crowley, because I think you'll enjoy it.
Said a limerick writer named Dave, "It's fortune and fame that I crave. I'm much better than Lear, but I'll end up, I fear, poor and unknown in my grave."
No. Let's hope not. Go get a copy of his book. It's called Naughty Nonsense, Lascivious Limericks, and Much More by David Ellis. It's not for kids, but it is pretty much for everyone else.
Anybody who likes humour and anybody who's not prudish.
Perfect. It's like I said earlier, the limericks are so addicting, it might just inspire you to write your own. And who knows, maybe we'll be talking about your book on the next edition of Newsgram from webtalkradio.com.